Have you ever gone to bed feeling tired, ready for a full night of sleep, only to wake up again and again just to go to the bathroom? You fall asleep, then suddenly your eyes open at 1 a.m. You check the clock, go to the bathroom, come back to bed, and just when you finally drift off again, it happens again at 3 a.m. And by morning, you feel exhausted like you barely slept at all. Most people think this is just a normal part of getting older. But what if I told you that in many cases, your nighttime urination problem could be connected to something very simple, something you eat every day? And the solution might be as easy as changing the way you eat a banana before bed. Now that might sound strange at first. A banana? How could a banana possibly help you sleep through the night without waking up to urinate? But once you understand what is happening inside your body at night, especially with your minerals, your blood sugar, and your bladder signals, this simple fruit starts to make a lot more sense. Nighttime urination, also known as nocturia, affects millions of people. Some people wake up once a night, others 2, 3, or even 5 times. Every time it interrupts your sleep cycle. Your body never reaches deep restorative sleep. Over time, this leads to fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and even increased risk of metabolic problems. But here's the interesting part most people never hear. In many cases, the issue is not that your bladder is weak. It is that your body's nighttime chemistry is slightly off. Your electrolytes, your blood sugar, and your nervous system signals are not properly balanced. And this is where bananas come in. Bananas are one of the richest natural sources of potassium. Potassium is a mineral that plays a massive role in fluid balance inside your body. It works together with sodium to control where water goes, whether it stays inside your cells or gets flushed out through urine. When potassium levels are low, the body struggles to regulate fluid properly. Your kidneys may release more water during the night, and your bladder fills faster. That is one reason some people wake up frequently. But potassium does more than that. It also helps relax muscles and calm the nervous system. That includes the smooth muscles around the bladder and urinary tract. When those muscles are tense or overly sensitive, they send signals to your brain that make you feel like you need to urinate even when your bladder is not completely full. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Bananas also contain magnesium and vitamin B6. These nutrients support the production of calming neurotransmitters like serotonin and melatonin, which help regulate sleep cycles. Melatonin is your body's natural sleep hormone. It tells your brain when it is time to rest. When melatonin rises properly at night, your sleep becomes deeper and more stable. That means fewer awakenings and less sensitivity to small bladder signals. But here is the mistake many people make. They eat bananas at the wrong time or in the wrong way, which means they miss out on the sleep-supporting benefits. If you eat a banana early in the day, your body uses the nutrients for daytime energy. That is great for workouts and metabolism, but it does not necessarily help with nighttime urination. The real trick is how and when you eat the banana in the evening. Imagine this. About an hour before bedtime, instead of snacking on sugary desserts, processed snacks, or drinking tea that stimulates urination, you eat one banana slowly. Not 2 or 3, just one medium banana. As your body digests it, the natural carbohydrates gently raise your blood sugar level. This matters because low nighttime blood sugar is another hidden cause of frequent awakenings. When blood sugar drops too low during the night, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones wake you up. They also increase kidney activity, which can trigger the urge to urinate. A small natural carbohydrate source before bed helps stabilize blood sugar so those stress hormones stay quiet. The banana also delivers potassium to your system at the exact time your body is preparing for sleep. Your kidneys begin balancing fluids more efficiently, and your nervous system shifts into a calmer state. Now there is another trick that makes this even more powerful. Instead of eating the banana alone, some people benefit from pairing it with a small amount of healthy fat. For example, a teaspoon of natural peanut butter or almond butter. The fat slows digestion slightly. This creates a more gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream, preventing sudden drops in blood sugar overnight. That combination can make a surprising difference in how stable your body feels during the night. But there's another important factor most people overlook: hydration timing. Many people drink large amounts of water right before bed because they believe staying hydrated improves sleep. Hydration is important, but timing matters. If you drink 2 or 3 large glasses of water within an hour of bedtime, your kidneys will naturally process that fluid during the night. That means more urine production. A better approach is to hydrate well during the day and reduce large fluid intake about 90 minutes before sleep. Your body stays hydrated, but your bladder is less likely to wake you up. When the banana strategy is combined with better hydration timing, many people notice a significant improvement. Now let's talk about another hidden factor: mineral imbalance. Modern diets often contain far more sodium than potassium. Processed foods, restaurant meals, packaged snacks, and sauces all contain high sodium levels. Sodium pulls water outside cells and increases fluid retention in the bloodstream. Your kidneys then try to remove excess fluid, often during the night when your body is resting. Potassium does the opposite. It helps move fluid back inside cells, reducing the load on your kidneys. That is why increasing potassium-rich foods like bananas can help rebalance this system naturally. Of course, bananas are not the only potassium source. Avocados, spinach, sweet potatoes, and yogurt also provide potassium. But bananas have a unique advantage. They are easy to digest and contain natural compounds that support serotonin production. Serotonin not only improves mood, but also helps regulate the bladder's signaling to the brain. When serotonin levels are stable, the bladder becomes less reactive to small changes in pressure. That means fewer unnecessary wake-ups. But here's something fascinating many people do not realize. Your bladder is actually controlled partly by your nervous system and your brain's perception of urgency. If your sleep becomes deeper and more stable, your brain becomes less likely to wake up in response to mild bladder signals. So by improving sleep chemistry, bananas indirectly reduce nighttime urination. Now let's talk about who might benefit the most from this strategy. Many adults over 40 begin experiencing more frequent nighttime urination. Hormonal shifts, changes in kidney function, and mineral imbalances all contribute. Men with mild prostate enlargement often experience bladder pressure at night. While bananas are not a medical treatment for prostate conditions, improving mineral balance and relaxing smooth muscle may help reduce irritation signals. Women after menopause may also notice more nighttime awakenings due to hormonal changes that affect bladder sensitivity. In both cases, supporting electrolyte balance and sleep hormones can make a difference. However, there is one more trick that makes bananas even more effective for sleep. Slightly ripe bananas, the ones with a few brown spots, contain higher levels of certain calming compounds compared to very green bananas. As bananas ripen, their starch converts into natural sugars that are easier to digest. This makes them gentler on the stomach before bedtime. Green bananas are great for gut health during the day, but ripe bananas are better for evening relaxation. Another interesting benefit comes from magnesium. Although bananas are not the highest magnesium food, they still contribute small amounts that work together with potassium. Magnesium relaxes muscles, including those around the bladder and pelvic floor. When magnesium levels are low, muscles stay slightly tense. This can make the bladder feel more urgent than it actually is. That subtle tension can wake you up at night. Adding a banana before bed gives your body a small but helpful magnesium boost. Now imagine doing this consistently for a week or two. Instead of waking up 3 times a night, maybe you wake up once, or sometimes not at all. Your sleep becomes deeper, your energy during the day improves, your mood stabilizes, all from a simple change in your evening routine. But remember, the banana alone is not a magic cure. It works best when combined with a few simple habits. Avoid caffeine after mid-afternoon. Reduce large fluid intake before bedtime. Support electrolyte balance during the day. And create a relaxing nighttime routine so your nervous system shifts into rest mode. When these factors come together, your body naturally sleeps longer and your bladder stays quieter. So tonight, instead of reaching for late-night snacks that spike blood sugar or stimulate your kidneys, try something different. About an hour before bed, eat one ripe banana slowly. If you want, add a teaspoon of natural nut butter, then allow your body to wind down. It is a small change, but sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest improvements in sleep. And if you wake up tomorrow morning realizing you slept longer without that annoying trip to the bathroom, you will understand why this simple fruit has quietly become one of the most underrated nighttime foods for better sleep. Sometimes the solution is not complicated medicine or extreme routines. Sometimes it is simply giving your body the nutrients it has been missing at the exact moment it needs them most. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how tired you are, you keep waking up in the middle of the night? You go to bed early, you feel exhausted, yet sometime around 1 or 2 in the morning, your eyes snap open and you feel that familiar pressure in your bladder. You think maybe it's just aging, or maybe it's that cup of tea you had before bed, or even stress. But the truth is, in many cases, the real culprit is something you've probably never considered. Mineral imbalances, specifically low potassium, a nutrient that most people don't get nearly enough of, and yet it plays such a critical role in keeping your body's nighttime processes functioning smoothly. Potassium is one of those minerals that quietly works behind the scenes. It's not the kind of nutrient that makes headlines like protein or vitamin C, but it's just as essential, especially when it comes to sleep quality. Potassium's main job is to regulate the balance of fluids in your body, but it does a lot more than that. It helps your muscles relax, including the muscles in your bladder and urinary tract, and it plays a major role in controlling your nerves, which send signals to your brain about when your bladder is full. When potassium levels drop too low, these systems don't work correctly, and your body ends up signaling to your brain that it's time to wake up and urinate, even when your bladder isn't actually full. Think about how your body handles water during the night. Ideally, your kidneys and bladder work together efficiently, holding onto water during the night while releasing it in the morning when it's more convenient, but low potassium throws that off balance. Without enough potassium, your kidneys may start excreting more water than necessary at night, which fills your bladder faster and causes those repeated trips to the bathroom. And it's not just a mild inconvenience. Frequent awakenings disrupt the natural sleep cycle. Every time you wake up, you're interrupting the stage of deep sleep your body needs to repair tissues, regulate hormones, and consolidate memories. Over time, this chronic disruption can leave you feeling exhausted, irritable, and even contribute to more serious health issues like high blood pressure or insulin resistance. Now, potassium doesn't act alone. It works in tandem with sodium, another mineral that most people consume in excess. Sodium and potassium are like partners in a delicate dance that controls the movement of water in and out of your cells. Sodium pulls water out into the bloodstream, while potassium pushes it back into the cells. If your diet is high in sodium and low in potassium, which is extremely common given the prevalence of processed foods, fast food, salty snacks, and packaged meals, your body ends up holding water in the wrong places during the day and then overcompensating at night. This overcompensation triggers your kidneys to excrete more urine while you're asleep, leading to that repeated urge to get up. This is why people who wake up frequently at night aren't just bad sleepers or older people who have to pee. In many cases, their bodies are actually trying to tell them something very specific. Your mineral balance is off. And the most common deficiency that gets overlooked is potassium. Most adults aren't getting enough potassium from their diet. The recommended daily intake is about 2,500 to 3,000 milligrams for adults. Yet studies show that the average intake is significantly lower, sometimes less than half of what the body actually needs. Fruits like bananas, avocados, and oranges, vegetables like spinach, sweet potatoes, and beans are all excellent sources. But the standard modern diet is heavily weighted toward refined carbohydrates, processed foods, and salty snacks, which dramatically reduce the intake of potassium. One of the most interesting aspects of potassium is how it interacts with muscle function. Your bladder is essentially a muscle that has to contract and relax in a coordinated way. Potassium helps ensure that this muscle relaxes properly. Without enough potassium, the bladder can become more sensitive and hyperactive. This means it sends false signals to the brain, creating the feeling that you need to urinate even when your bladder isn't really full. This is one reason why even small amounts of liquid consumed in the evening can cause multiple awakenings in people with low potassium. Their bladder and nervous system are overly reactive, not because of the amount of liquid, but because the muscle control and nerve signaling are off. Potassium also plays a crucial role in regulating the electrical signals in your nervous system. Your nerves use charged ions, including potassium, to communicate. When potassium levels drop, nerve cells don't function optimally. This affects the autonomic nervous system, which controls many involuntary functions in your body, including bladder activity and the circadian rhythm of your kidneys. In simpler terms, low potassium can confuse your body about when it should be holding on to fluids and when it should be releasing them. This confusion is often expressed as those frustrating repeated awakenings to urinate during the night. Another critical factor is how potassium interacts with blood pressure. Low potassium has been linked to higher blood pressure, and elevated blood pressure can also affect kidney function. When your kidneys are under stress from high blood pressure, they may excrete more fluid at night as a protective mechanism. This is part of why people with nocturia often notice an improvement in symptoms when they increase their potassium intake and balance their electrolytes properly. But potassium doesn't just affect the bladder and kidneys. It also influences muscle relaxation throughout the body. Think about how tense you feel when you're stressed. Muscles tighten, heart rate goes up, and your sleep is disrupted. Adequate potassium helps muscles relax, which contributes to a calmer nervous system and a more restful sleep environment. This relaxation effect extends to the bladder and urinary tract muscles as well, reducing unnecessary signals that prompt you to wake up. It's also worth mentioning the role of potassium in sleep hormones. Potassium interacts with magnesium, another mineral often deficient in modern diets, to support the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Low potassium and magnesium together can make your sleep lighter and more fragmented, which exacerbates the problem of nighttime urination. When your body doesn't produce enough melatonin, your sleep becomes shallower, and you are more likely to wake up in response to even minor bladder sensations. A simple way to think about it is this: if your potassium levels are low, your body is more sensitive to every small cue during the night. Even minor bladder fullness, small changes in blood pressure, or tiny fluctuations in fluid balance can trigger awakenings. Replenishing potassium helps stabilize these cues, making your sleep less reactive and your bladder signals less urgent. Now, some people might think, well, I drink a lot of water during the day, so I must be getting enough minerals. But hydration alone isn't enough. In fact, drinking excessive water without balancing electrolytes can worsen nighttime urination because it dilutes potassium and other essential minerals in the bloodstream. Proper mineral intake, especially potassium, is key to helping your kidneys process fluid efficiently and preventing overactive signals to the bladder at night. And here's something that surprises many people. Even mild potassium deficiency can have noticeable effects on sleep. You don't need to be severely deficient to experience fragmented sleep. Studies have shown that people with lower potassium intake report more frequent nighttime awakenings, poorer sleep quality, and more fatigue the next day. So even if you think your diet is fine, a subtle deficiency could be silently sabotaging your sleep. Bananas, in particular, are a convenient and effective source of potassium. One medium banana contains about 400 to 450 milligrams of potassium, which makes a significant contribution toward meeting daily requirements. Eating a banana before bed provides your body with a gentle potassium boost, right when it's preparing for sleep. Unlike potassium supplements that can sometimes cause digestive upset, bananas deliver potassium along with natural carbohydrates and small amounts of magnesium, which together promote relaxation and stable blood sugar during the night. But it's not just about eating more bananas, it's about creating a consistent routine that allows your body to benefit from potassium when it matters most. Pairing potassium-rich foods with a healthy evening routine, such as reducing large fluid intake close to bedtime, avoiding caffeine and alcohol, and supporting overall electrolyte balance during the day, can make a dramatic difference in reducing nighttime urination. It's also interesting to note how potassium interacts with sodium throughout the day. Most people consume far too much sodium relative to potassium, and this imbalance contributes to fluid retention and overactive kidneys at night. By increasing potassium intake through diet, you help counteract the excess sodium, allowing your kidneys to regulate fluid more efficiently and preventing unnecessary nighttime trips to the bathroom. Another aspect to consider is age. As we get older, kidney function gradually declines, and electrolyte imbalances become more common. This is one reason why nighttime urination tends to increase with age. Ensuring adequate potassium intake can partially offset these age-related changes, helping to maintain more stable bladder control and deeper, uninterrupted sleep. Potassium also plays a role in supporting cardiovascular health. Healthy blood pressure and heart function reduce stress on the kidneys, which in turn minimizes overproduction of urine at night. When your potassium levels are sufficient, your body can maintain better cardiovascular and kidney efficiency, both of which are directly linked to the frequency of nighttime awakenings. Some people worry about eating too much potassium, but for healthy adults without kidney disease, it is very difficult to reach harmful levels through food alone. The natural balance of potassium in fruits, vegetables, and other whole foods is safe and effective, and the body regulates excess intake efficiently. This makes dietary potassium a practical and low-risk way to address nocturia caused by mineral imbalances. Finally, it's important to realize that addressing low potassium is not just about solving one annoying symptom. Improving potassium intake has a cascade of benefits: better sleep quality, more stable blood sugar, calmer muscles, improved nerve function, more efficient kidney activity, and even better mood and energy during the day. All of these factors combine to reduce nighttime awakenings and help you finally experience the deep restorative sleep that your body needs. So if you've been struggling with repeated trips to the bathroom at night, feeling frustrated and exhausted in the morning, it's worth considering whether a subtle mineral imbalance, especially low potassium, could be the hidden culprit. Replenishing potassium through simple dietary changes like adding bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, or other potassium-rich foods can dramatically improve the way your body handles fluids, relaxes muscles, and communicates with your brain at night. At